3 points. One, to echo Eileen, just do it. And I kind of saw that I get all the I4PL emails, and I kind of looked at it and I thought, yeah, maybe let's go for it. So, and I'm really glad we did. So, so yeah, if other people have a project that the process now is way easier than what it was before. So, and I think there's still some challenges, and it's, you know, a lot of forms and paperwork, but it's far more streamlined than what it has been. So don't let it be too daunting, and go for it. My other comment, I guess, to people who are applying is to really know the I4PL competencies inside and out, because it's absolutely based on that. And I'm certified as a CTDP, and so I know those, and I often will pull out my ratty copy of the competencies and refer to them, especially for needs assessment, because you want to kind of get that right. So yeah, so make sure that you know those inside and out. And my third comment is, wherever possible, start with the end in mind. So not so much with applying for the award, but at the beginning of an engagement. So start with the end in mind, and really what I'm saying there is to think about the evaluation. So yes, we're doing our assessment, and we know the audience, and we come up with a great approach. How are we going to evaluate it at the end? How are we going to determine that it had the impact that we wanted it to have, and that it actually met the business needs that we set out at the beginning? So I think being aware of that at the beginning makes for an easier submission and a stronger submission if you're going to put the project forward for an award.
When I went through that, I think I submitted like a 26-page document. Like, I just went through and just pulled all the content and all the feedback. And so what that process did is it gave me an opportunity to then go through each one of the modules and look at the feedback and the commentary that was happening, and say, oh, I completely forgot about that activity. And in that first piece that first cohort that went through it, they found some of that stuff confusing. There was a lot of discussion in the discussion board about that. So I had completely kind of forgotten. So yeah, it really added this, going through that process and analyzing it in the same fashion that I envisioned the committee and the members to go through. It allowed me to then tease out, okay, well, yeah, there are more improvements that I can make to this program to make it even better. And I don't think that I would have teased that out if I didn't analyze it through the submission process the way that I did.
Really trying to understand what you were looking for. That was a great push-off point for us to kind of work, and it put it into a realm. It gave us the opportunity to set up our answers to actually answer the question you're looking for. It's hard sometimes. You'll just be like, oh, I can get this done or fill this in. But you're taking that extra time in the beginning to really understand, delve into, read deeper into the questions, read deeper into the reason why they're in the order that they're in. And once you figure that out and understand that, then the process itself becomes easier. It becomes about exposing yourself and exposing the information.
For me, at least, it was a little bit of a checklist. And sorry?
Validation?
But yeah, validation. But yeah, and that, yeah, you know what? When you do look at these things, you can change up your approach, but these things are still important to us. And it's good to know that we're putting something forward that is still hitting all those points. And feeling confident going in, learner impacts, there's a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? It's something up in the air because you don't know if it's going to respond well to the folks that are voting on it. But from our perspective, yeah, this is what we do.
If you're thinking about submitting an award, ask yourself 2 questions. One is, does the project have sound instructional design? And you can review the skills and to the relevant competency with your project in mind to see if you can say yes, 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 yes to answer this question. And the other question is, does the project focus on delivering an exceptional learning experience?
I think it's important to, for this particular award is to really stand out, right? And so to put as much thought into the application as you actually did in the course.
I would just say, like, you know, not to think of it as an afterthought.
Time, right? I think that's a big thing, is take the time. Like you took the time with creating what you think is an award-winning course or, you know, training, then take the time to showcase that. Do it justice, and start early.
I would say definitely apply. I mean, it's a win-win. Like if you've done something interesting, first, it's good to reflect on it. Secondly, you have to share it because we're a technology industry. And so, you know, we thrive on new ideas. New ideas are really the lifeblood, and they need to be shown publicly. They need to be talked about. We need to share them. You know, it's really through that process that other people are going to learn as well. So you'll help yourself and you're going to help others. And, you know, maybe you'll win an award. Maybe you'll get some recognition too. So it's win-win-win all around.
It's also a team effort. I don't recommend to try and venture out and do this alone, because all of the different input and insights and value you can collect from the team members that were working to develop this program will go that extra mile to secure you a win. Even if, let's say, it's your first time applying, you just really need all those good stories that come from the people around you to be able to make that a success.
A couple of really interesting things, you know, came to mind. The questions and the processes that we were asked to go through. I had my Bloom's taxonomy ready to go. I was set with some of the things that took me back to when I was in university, and really going through a very thoughtful pedagogical review process. And when I guess being a researcher, I did a cross-sectional analysis across the awards to see how they were asking questions differently. So I found it personally quite a fun and enjoyable process to go through.
One of the first things I would say is that you shouldn't be building programs with a view to winning awards. You should be building programs with a view to addressing a business challenge. Being able to, you build, especially in this case with a leadership development program, being able to build a program that's going to resonate with your workforce, it's going to engage your workforce, it's going to engage your senior leadership team, and it's going to make a very real impact on, business metrics and objectives. The reality of the situation is that if you accomplish all of that in a program, the award wins itself. Certainly, being able to articulate that and message that in the right way is important. And there's definitely it's definitely a lot of work in submitting these awards, and in many ways that's very validating. The fact that you do have to put so much effort into submitting these award submissions, it really separates those who have tried to build a great program from somebody who's maybe just checking some boxes. But my advice would be building a program with a view to fixing a business problem, and then submitting a award as the afterthought is really the approach, rather than going into it saying we're going to build a program to win an award.